Morning, welcome to Trade Live with IG. It's the 24th. It is the 23rd. Wednesday, 24th of September. We got Luke Moore in the house.
Back. Thanks for having me. You've got a new table.
In our new house.
Look at this.
This is why Kingfisher was up 15% yesterday.
Because of this table.
Yes.
Is it a B&Q special then, is it?
It feels like it.
Yeah.
It's
because we've cleared this place out now, I feel like that moment in Step Brothers where there's so much room for activities. Do you know, like there's just so much space. Oh, there you go, the wide. Look at all this stuff. I worry that we're going to clutter it, so we've got to keep it empty.
It's a TV show, look.
Yeah, we've got to keep it like this. It's good. Look at that. Nice.
So what is coming up on today's show of this morning? With Richard and Judy?
With Punch and Judy.
It is Richard and Luke Moore, and then Angeline and Luke Moore for Fast Markets at 8:15. There he is. The boy himself is coming in for Tech Focus. Piers.
PB, what is it? PB trading on his TikTok. What is it?
US Tech Trader.
US Tech
PB.
Trader. Yeah.
God, his followers are going up quick.
Yeah?
I'm not sure what's going up quicker, Plug Power or Pierce's followers on TikTok.
Oh, I haven't seen Plug. I've got some very happy clients if that is the case.
100%.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
from what to what? Here we
100% to 100%.
This will be here doing the opening bell with Angeline from 9 o'clock, and then you've got Charting Crypto with Mr. Axel Rudolph coming in at 9:10, and that'll be here to see you through till the end of the show.
How are you, Luke?
I'm good, actually. Yeah, I think just good. Just been yesterday was a bit of a quiet day, really. A bit of a kind of a weird one in the markets. We were bullish, and then we massively sold off because I think of Powell.
Speaking sense.
Speaking a little bit of sense, yeah. It was looking a little bit kind of blow off toppy a little bit, but we've just pulled back into trend. So I'm looking to see what happens today, because if we just continue this grind back higher, you've had a pop fueled by Nvidia. You've seen Nvidia come back off 2.8%, and we're back into where we were. Thanks.
I was asking how you were personally, but if you want to go into overnight action, we can go into overnight action.
Personally, I'm all right, I suppose. I'm still here. How are you? Still here?
Full of the joys of autumn.
Good. Pumpkin, what is it? Pumpkin spice latte?
It's about time to order those Halloween outfits. But I am off to Oktoberfest.
Good.
Tomorrow.
In
München.
Very good.
Yeah, we
have to get pictures.
I'm not so sure.
Pictures. Have you got your full? Is it the Dirndl?
It is. The full outfit has been purchased. Chris De La Vega, I'm looking forward to seeing in his outfit.
Excellent.
There's a crack team going across there on the flight across to Munich tomorrow. We'll be in the tent on Friday.
Is this a client do?
No, it is not.
Oh, okay. It's a personal do.
It is a personal do.
You and Chris having a little holiday together.
We are.
Ooh.
Along with a few others. It's not just a romantic trip for two.
Very cute. Very cute. Now, if we don't see pictures, come on, it's a travesty. You have to send some photos across.
We'll see. We'll see. Right, let's go into overnight action then and see how the chairman of the Federal Reserve told you, sell your stocks. That's right, Powell at last talking some sense yesterday. It's not often you get the chairman of the Federal Reserve commenting on asset prices, but oh, did he yesterday. Stock prices appear fairly highly valued.
Yeah.
That is not a common thing, Luke Moore.
It's not, but he's not wrong, really. Anyone can look at the stock market and say that we've been on this absolute rip and stocks are richly valued. They are.
I assumed that this was some kind of paraphrasing or something, but we've got the exact comment. We do look at overall financial conditions and we ask ourselves whether our policies are affecting financial conditions in a way that we're trying to achieve. You're right, by many measures. For example, equity prices are fairly highly valued. So he came out and he said it. He didn't quite go to the levels of irrational exuberance, but it's the same kind of wording.
Yeah. To me, the point here was he started talking about in the employment picture again, which we know because that's why he did the cut last week. You know, downside risk to employment remained justified after last week's cut. He said policy is not on a preset course. Data dependency continues, which I think is why we might have pulled back a little bit. The fact that he said that stocks are overvalued is one thing, but then it's the uncertainty that comes back in. If policy is not on a preset course, and we've seen all the dot plots last week, he's effectively trying to say, no, we're in control of this. not Micron with his 1.5% cut expected in the dot plots. Let's not get carried away with ourselves. We have to watch the data.
This is the great thing. This was his defiance, coming out and hearing the lies from Stephen Moran and the White House that we've been hearing. Stay out of monetary policy. Stay in your lane.
Yep.
This was a direct message to Moran saying, no,
Yep.
we see, we do the work, we have the experience, and it was absolutely fantastic to hear.
We're slightly back to transitory, though. He shortly stopped us saying the word. But what I picked out is it says tariff-driven price effects should be short-lived.
Yep.
Which is arguably a good thing.
Should be
short-lived.
Because he covered this in the statement in the press conference last week.
Yeah.
He said it's too early to tell.
Yeah.
So at the moment, we feel that rates are moving towards the right kind of level for that, being unsure about where our concerns are.
Yeah.
And he said that, yes, he pushes back on rate cut expectations, that two-sided risks means that there is no risk-free path.
Yeah. Which is what we've all been thinking about and what we've all been looking at, right? Let me offer you some tonic, though. Guys, if you could pop my chart up. This is something that Bloomberg pulled out this morning. So on this piece about stocks being richly valued. So what I've got here, and let me see if I can just zoom that in for us. So this is the MSCI World Index, okay? So this is, at the top there, you've got the MSCI World Index pricing. In the middle there, you've got the RSI. So we know that RSI over 70 is considered richly valued, potentially overvalued. But what they've then looked at is the individual stocks. And so the bottom piece there is the members of the MSCI World Index as the individual stocks with their RSI over 70. So this is almost playing on that piece about market breadth. Okay? We know that at the very top end and at the concentrated end, stocks are overvalued. But once you break into the global index outside of the US, actually
Outside of the US.
This is the world. Actually, most of the companies are not near the top of their RSI. It's just the effect of concentration.
So basically move out of US into Japan, into FTSE, potentially DAX,
Bloomberg
India.
It's what Bloomberg are looking at. It says market breadth there's a lot of room to broaden further, which is what it says there at the top. So it's interesting. It's saying we are at this richly valued area, potentially in the US. Would you use something like this to say, actually, I'll take some profits out of the US and maybe look to reinvest it somewhere else?
Yeah. We recorded the next episode of Art in Investing yesterday. We'll go live later today, or I'm not sure, maybe we might put it out tomorrow morning and just test what it's like to put it out at a kind of 7 a.m. But there is a bit of a surprise in there. I won't give anything away.
Oh, yeah.
But it's definitely worth tuning into.
A surprise.
It is a surprising result.
Okay. So you agreed on something?
Well, that maybe we didn't.
Oh, okay. So far, it's been a tug of war and a bit of a battle, which I'm enjoying.
So, right, let's have a quick look at then what happened when Powell spoke. Yes, we came off all of about 80 points on the Nasdaq, so we didn't even get down to where we had risen from the day before. Just a little note, the last time Powell said such a thing was in September 2021. That was the last time he came out and warned about certain valuations and what was going on in the equity market. The market topped 4 months later and consequently sold off 22%. So you don't ignore the chairman of the Federal Reserve. You can take what you want with a pinch of salt. You can look at other parts of global investments, but it's very much worth paying attention to.
Yeah, for sure. Another chart here, just to kind of show some tonic. So this is another thing that Bloomberg have run with this morning. So they noted that the S&P, the Russell, the Nasdaq, and the Dow all closed at record highs in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a piece here, and I imagine this would be
And the Nikkei and gold.
Yeah, I think this is a point on momentum more than anything else. So when you see an alignment of that with every major US index pushing on, what does that mean for performance on an ongoing basis? So this is the tonic to Powell. This is momentum begets momentum. And so even here, if you look at the median performance, this bottom piece just here, 2 months later, you're up 2%, 4.6%.
Median means nothing.
7.6. It means it removes the outliers.
Yeah, but it doesn't. What does it tell me? We don't know if we're in 89. We don't know if we're in 2016. So, what does it tell me?
It's telling you that buying tops isn't necessarily a bad thing.
On some occasions, and some occasions it is.
Sure.
I had this discussion with Beecham the other day. Seasonality is becoming less and less relevant because the more that you've got AI managing money, the more you've got algos managing money, then it neutralizes all of this because it arbs it out.
Yes, it does. I can see that because you've got less human.
You've got no Santa Rally last year.
You've got less humans. September hasn't been as weak as it has been historically.
Sell in May, go away, hasn't worked.
Hasn't happened. Agreed. Yeah.
So it's this seasonality thing is somewhat impotent in the last 12 months.
Well, let's see. Let's see where it goes. I mean, for me, it's more a case of the conversations we have with clients all the time is everything's too high. The decision they typically then make is to try and short something, right? Which isn't necessarily the best idea. Potentially taking some risk off could be a good idea, right? Not having exposure could be a good idea, but it potentially comes at an opportunity cost because it can continue to move higher.
Opportunity cost isn't that bad with 4% in an IG account on cash. 4% is not that bad at 24 times earnings. Peak profits, peak margins, peak positive news flow.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you in any of those things. What I'm saying is momentum can continue and you can continue to see more money. We've got peak money in money market funds. You've got a housing market which is in desperate need of some form of an unfreezing. So if those 30-year rates starts to come back, there could be an unlocking of capital starting to flow through the system. So there are catalysts where you can see this continuing.
And I can see the home builders benefiting from that. Not yet, because rates have actually gone up since we got our rate cut at the long end.
The mortgage rates?
10 years, 30 years have gone higher.
Oh, I thought they were coming back a little bit.
Well, that's what happened on the night. And now we're at 414 on the 10-year. Let's have a look. Live update this morning.
There was something, and you'll probably like this and laugh at this. So we had a weekday yesterday, of course, right? Powell's come off. And I said to one of the guys on the desk, I was like, I bet you a tenner this thing bounces into the close, right? And lo and behold, it bounced into the close. You get a story, OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank, new AI data centers, Stargate, money.
That's it.
Straight back into the open.
Stick some hot words on this on the search
and it does,
engine out there.
And Reuters are here with another article, that's we're going to build, if I pop that on there, this came out, this is 2 a.m. our time, so you're kind of getting the evening's piece on it here.
There you go.
5 new AI data centers. Yeah, 5 new AI data centers, and it works. And we saw the dip buys come back in again.
Right, let's have a look at the front page of the Times then. Amazon closing those shops that you feel that you're shoplifting in.
Was this the piece around actual Indians? I told you this story?
Oh, no.
So this, I'm pretty sure this was the piece where all of the cameras that were supposedly tracking your purchases were AI. And it was the first kind of iteration of physical AI, right? You walk in, tap your Amazon card, you pick up what you want to pick up, and then you just shoplift and you leave. And I met a client and he was like, yeah, that was never AI. That was just a room full of Indian guys. And it came out that there was a scandal that this was actual Indians, right? It was guys that were
people in India.
Yeah, exactly. Auditing these things and just saying, right, he's just bought 3 things, click, 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 move on. And it was
technology was nowhere near to shoplift then.
You can hide it under your jacket.
I'm not sure I believe that.
Less of a technical miracle, and I think.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly it's not working anyway. So they're going back online, which brings us to JD Sports this morning. Now, Andrew McKelvey, of course, our big watcher of JD Sports. Let's dig into the numbers. Right now, it's not a great H1. They're staying cautious on H2. But what is impacting the numbers, Luke Moore?
Well, let's see if I can get this up on the screen for the kiddos.
It is the fact that last year we had the football that England did well in. So the CEO is pointing towards that. He's pointing towards we had the Olympics last year. And that is just meaning that year next year we'll have Olympics. This is a soft year when it comes to sports.
Yeah. So what, let's get this up on the screen just while we're talking about this so you can see it as we're looking at this.
You want to just zoom in a bit there? There we go, perfect. 13.5% fall in H1, but it's the caution on H2 that we really have to look at. The margin has been hit as well. Now, the margin is partly the mix, right? Because they made 2 acquisitions. So you've got a lower margin there. But the CEO offering some hope in saying, look, every time we put out new product, everybody is lapping it up. So you just need that continued innovation, which of course Nike will hear about more from next week.
Yep.
And I don't know. It's not a Kingfisher from yesterday.
It's being called down 1, which
It's not going to be down 1, is it?
1%. That's our friends at Singer's Capital Markets, down 1%. So we'll get an indication of where the auction opens up in 4 minutes. So we'll bring that to you as we get it. Any impact on guidance, the market absolutely hates.
Yeah.
It just hates it. It just does. So we'll see. We'll see how it opens up. What else have we got?
His excuse is the world is changing every day. And that's just making people stand back a bit, which I did like. The person interviewing the CEO came straight out and said, didn't impact Kingfisher too much yesterday. So what's the difference?
What was the final move on Kingfisher yesterday?
15. Now, one thing I would say, the Times just absolutely love knocking short selling. Hedge funds squeezed as Kingfisher rallies on profit guidance. So they've named the shorters AKO Capital and Marshall Wace, 2 great hedge funds, but not. I just don't think it's fair, because if they were long, there's no way the Times would come out and do an article
Just say congratulations, guys. Well done. You're long this. Happy
made
days.
15%. A very clever fund that seems to have entered into my advertising is at the top there. So Artemis, now in the marketing.
But they've been on the side of taxis for a while.
Yeah.
You do see them on the side of taxis from now and then.
Very, very clever fund. I think if you'll especially look at some of their fintech holdings,
Oh yeah.
Such as certain groups that have 2 initials, then you'll find they own 7% of the company. Very smart. Thank you for advertising that there.
I think we've got a trading update, if not today, tomorrow, actually. You've just reminded me. I don't think it is today, otherwise I would have seen it. Although what I did see today, and what has been interesting and what's been spoken about on here a couple of times, is Yellowcake.
Ooh, yes.
Yellowcake, the uranium play. They're placing stock. They're raising £92.5 million at yesterday's closing price to top up their uranium holdings. So bear in mind, Yellowcake, at a very simplistic level, are just a bonded warehouse with Yellowcake grade uranium.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot more complex than that, but effectively that's what it is. It's a holding company that has no real operations other than holding the fuel.
Not physically.
Clearly not like this. With the old Simpsons, with the old tools.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah. But the market cap on this is around 1.1 billion. They're raising 92 million. So they are, what's that? 10% of the fund approximately they're raising. Accelerated book build. I'm glad they're doing it at yesterday's closing price and not at a huge discount.
Nice.
So we'll see how they move.
Almost like a uranium treasury company.
Yeah. You'd argue it probably is.
Hot stuff. That could turn out.
Yeah. Saga, we've also had. Saga, the insurance company. Their trading performance is ahead of expectations. Their EBITDA is ahead of expectations, and their net debt position has improved.
Right.
Have we got a call from them? They're indicating up 5%. So congratulations to anyone holding those guys. Elsewhere, AB Foods, they've been raised to a hold at Deutsche Bank with a £20 price target. They're being called Unch at lunch at the moment. What else have we got here?
Unch at lunch.
Unch at lunch. Yellowcake indicating up 2 as a precursor there to anybody who is involved. Enquest, the smaller cap firm,
Right.
also been out with some numbers this morning. Let's have a little look where they are. Half year results in line with guidance, being called Unch, fairly uninteresting. That's it, I think.
What's Andrew McKelvey saying there in the chat? They've invented a new word saying, which is not as Not as bad. What is that, Andrew? Give us more of that.
that is a
Do you think it's a typo in the trading statement?
no way.
And Steve, CDR saying, I think that's a Welsh village, isn't it?
Very good. Very good.
Good stuff. Right, what else have we got? We covered Porsche the last couple of days. Well, Stellantis now pausing vehicle production at 2 European plants. Does this give a potential pair trade, Luke Moore, of a short Stellantis to fund a long Porsche?
So Porsche obviously came crashing down because they pulled the plug on their EV business. So are you going to take a punt that a return to its more meatier motor roots gives them room to focus, potentially? I don't know. I mean, just on a personal basis, I do like those Porsches. They look pretty.
Well,
they do look cool. I'm surprised they've walked away from it.
What or just delayed it.
They pulled the plug, no?
No, it's just they're going to release more at a later date than expected.
Oh, fine, okay.
But
right. So
yeah,
they're
we're
reallocating
talking years.
resources. Yeah.
So there's Stellantis. Now, this thing has had a load of profit warnings as well. But do you want to buy into the French, or do you want to buy into German Porsches?
The Germans. Different markets, though, let's be honest.
Very different markets, but very different quality and brand.
I think a lot of Porsche's strength will come down to its ability to price. It's a brand that carries pricing power because people still want Porsches.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite. We're not talking like Ferrari levels of purchasing pricing power, where ultimately they can just continue to not release, the prices continue to go up and people continue to pay for them. But Stellantis, remind me, it's Vauxhall, it's Fiat, it's Peugeot. I mean, that part of the market.
It's all right.
Fiat's okay. I remember my cousin had a Fiat 500 Abarth, which was just like sticking a rocket on the back of a go-kart. It's hilarious. Great fun to drive. I just don't think... Who buys those cars? First-time buyers, commuters, local commuters.
See, this is the thing. I'm not sure people buy cars at that level anymore. You take the underground or you get an Uber.
Well, for those in London, sure. But out and about when you don't have access to...
Rome.
Yeah, but what we're talking about here is the school runners, the local kind of to the supermarket shoppers.
Mm-hmm.
Those that aren't going to go and they don't need a touring car that's going to go and do 500 miles as I do up to Scotland a couple of times a year. We don't need a good car. You need something that's going to take you to school, to the supermarket, back home.
So a Chinese one. That's the problem. You can't buy a BYD to replace a Porsche, but you can certainly buy a Chinese vehicle to replace a Peugeot or a Fiat.
Yeah. You can. Yeah. Especially if you've got the ability to charge it at home, and that's simple. Mm-hmm. And the cost of charging a car is, single digit pounds as opposed to 40, 50 pounds.
Yeah.
You can see why they're weak. You can definitely see why they're weak.
I think this could be dead.
Saying
This
that though,
could be a kind of €1 stock.
Buffett did exit his full position in BYD though.
I saw that.
So someone's taking profits over there. And
yeah.
I don't know what the price of BYD has done. I don't know if it's a...
I think he did something like a 24 times his investment.
Oh, nice.
How bad is it?
Here we go. BYD Co. It's up, but it's not like it's off the top. I mean, what's that? Traded up to 160. I'd imagine that is this a Hong Kong listing, perhaps? Mm-hmm. It's off the top, perhaps. It's
him selling.
Option. It could be him selling, actually. Yeah. I mean, when did that top out? May. So he's been potentially selling over the summer. Yeah. Look, I know Andrew is very bullish on BYD. I think as these guys continue to come in, it's natural for competition, right? If quality comes in at a lower price point, they should be shaken up. I don't mind that necessarily. I've got no romantic attachment to the industry. It's a shame because the automotive industry is so ingrained in some of the areas in which they're from. But like these things, disruption happens, and it usually happens for a reason.
Right, who have we got on the chat this morning then? Carlo is saying that an electric Ferrari was spotted near Monza. That could be certainly interesting.
Yeah.
And Jugger saying the only car investment I would do is autonomous driving, but not Tesla.
Well, I had a conversation with a client of mine at the weekend who is kind of very into AI, but from a scientific perspective, tied in with Cambridge and Oxford, and does a lot in the kind of the world of the scientific kind of research edge of AI.
Nice.
And he was saying the only thing he would look at from a driving perspective is Waymo, and was super bullish Google.
Which is Google, right?
Super bullish Google. He says whenever he has gatherings, 50 to 60% of people in the room are all in some way affiliated to an alphabet parent company. So a Waymo, these guys. He just said he's super pulled up about it. Okay. So you're right. Tesla maybe aren't going to be the ultimate winner. Maybe it's a winner takes most type of market. But Waymo, I don't think you can sleep on Waymo in this space.
Yeah. Right, just before we go to the break, nice little funny one for us. So the Secret Service is wasting its time investigating whether Trump was sabotaged by UN staff. So this was yesterday.
Saw this.
This is the hottest new meme in town, this. So Melania steps on. Somebody pressed the stop button on the escalator, and they're both shocked and have the embarrassment of having to walk upstairs.
They got him twice, though. They got him twice. Do you see him with the teleprompter as well? So the teleprompter didn't work. And he calls them out. He said, two things. I've been at the UN for 5 minutes. The escalator didn't work.
Yeah.
And these teleprompters don't work. And he goes, never worry. It's better to speak from the heart anyway. And you could just see people go, oh, no.
What have we done?
What have we done?
Yeah.
And he goes, and whoever's in charge of the teleprompter, big trouble.
Yes. And they could be, because the Times did report that this was going to happen. So it wasn't
beforehand.
Yeah, the day before.
They switched him off.
They reported that the UN staff were planning to sabotage, including making sure he had to walk upstairs, and there was something else cited that didn't happen.
Petty. I mean, come on, it's petty.
Well, it's not, because he is trying to cut their funding. So it's you cut our funding, our electricity won't work.
Yeah, but come on, it's petty.
Well, how else do you protest?
Well, it's like, okay, our CEO walks into a room and you shut the door on him on the way through. You should be courteous to people.
That.
Yeah, exactly. You should be courteous to people, regardless of,
I'm not sure being courteous to Trump is really on my list of priorities.
No, but how petty do you need to be to turn?
What is he doing to the world with tariffs and United Nations and NATO? And you want to be courteous to the guy?
I don't disagree.
Love the tariffs.
But if you were on an escalator and someone just switched it off just to get at you, you'd be annoyed.
I feel bad for Melania, but he should be annoyed. Everybody's annoyed with him.
I mean,
what he's doing to the world.
We're not arguing about what his message is. We're just arguing that.
Well, so what other way you protest? This was a way. I'm not sad to see. I feel bad for Melania.
Well, yeah, okay.
I'm glad she didn't fall.
On a different note, JD Sports indicating up 2.7.
Right. So we're getting
indicating up 2.7.
Yeah. Wait and see. Right. Quick 60-second break. Guess the chart.
Rich was charting lines with a fevered hand. Angeline had coins like castles in the sand. They asked me, Phil, what's the play today? I leaned back slow and I had to say, only time will tell if the bull will charge or the candle fell. You can draw your lines and plan your spell, but in this game, my friends, only time will tell. But look at that breakout, Phil, it's a sign. The RSI's low and the setup's fine. I've seen breakouts fake and crashes climb. Patience, kids, trust the test of time. Only time will tell if your gains will swell or your hopes dispel. You can hedge and get...
Of course, it's Kingfisher. Come on, you all got that one. That was too easy.
Far too easy.
Producer Phil, what are you doing?
Right.
It's that time of the day. We were the FTSE looking down 16 basis points and the DAX looking down about the same. We are going to look more opening the London Stock Exchange, and they're off and running quick this morning.
So where have we got there? BAE Systems, okay, so BAE Systems 1980 up 1.2%.
Good year.
BATS up 1%. British American Tobacco 39.36. Pearson 1032.5 up 0.1. That's not very interesting. Why are we not organising those prices very well whatsoever? Banks a little weaker there. NatWest, I suppose, down a quarter at the bottom there. Lloyd's down 0.5%. HSBC down 0.7. Barclays not on the list there from what I can see, so potentially something to do with HSBC. But Carnival down 1.6%. Interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dead morning there, actually. Vodafone up 60 basis points, 84.70. Imperial Brands. So is there anything out in tobaccos that they're both stronger?
Leave that with me. I'll have a little look. What isn't open is JD Sports.
Uh-oh.
Now indicating 94p.
Go on.
6. Up 6.
Fantastic. Andrew McKelvey, are you still in JD Sports buying your new Nikes there? Tell us if you're still in that. Has anybody else got it? Kingfisher down 1%, 285. Barclays down 1.3.
Sorry. Yes, of course. Chart of the day was, of course, Kingfisher. Did we already do that?
Yeah.
Sorry. Not paying attention.
Right, I'm getting all my alarms going off, telling me that Porsche was at the level that I wanted to buy it yesterday. So we're going to go in there. I don't like doing that just in case I get the wrong one. Porsche, let's try and buy 200 shares for a starter. Am I going to short Stellantis against it? That's the question. So we're buying Porsche. First time I've ever bought a Porsche.
Hey.
And where is that? Stellantis down 2%. Tricky. So I need to do, it'll be 1,000, won't it?
Barclays now joining the party on those banks looking weak, down 1.4%, trading 383. So we've got Burberry also down 1.2 at the bottom of the pot.
I can't short Stellantis.
Oh, you need to go and check borrow. Get on the phone.
I'll be back in a minute. Pete Ward, give me some bloody borrow in Stellantis, my man. That's when you can tell a stock is really bad. The fact that all the borrow is already taking.
It just means that, so what that means, this is a bit of a lesson for us on the platform. What it means is we don't guarantee the fact that we can go and pick up borrow. So because whenever a client clicks on the button, we're effectively guaranteeing a certain amount of liquidity at that price.
Yeah.
So if we can't guarantee the borrow on one side, the shorting borrow, sorry, it means that we need to check. Doesn't mean you can't do it. You just need to call into the dealing desk and check. You can jump on the live chat. You can just say, hey, is there any borrow in this name? You can check. In fact, I could probably check here for you, but you'd have to go and pull the trigger somewhere else. How many?
Sorry, it's Rich here. You're live on air, so don't swear. Can you please just check the Stellantis borrow for me, please?
In France. Say in France.
In France.
Right. While he's on the phone, I will continue to keep looking.
Awesome. Right. Yep. Thank you for checking for me. That's great. Thanks.
Who'd you get?
Didn't recognise them.
Oh. Well, if it was depending. Oh, hang on a sec. I'll be able to see because whoever's now going to go and check the desk. I'll see who it was.
Right, Defence Holdings we are getting. So yeah, if you ever have that problem, it doesn't mean you can't do it.
Just means you need to check.
Means you need to check. So that is. So we're now long a little bit of Porsche.
Okay, so
we're at them at 911.
JD Sports is not open yet, but it's now only indicating 3% and 91p. So I'm just going to
go and make me a market. We did this yesterday, and I had my eyes taken out by Mini Cooper. So make me a market on where they are at 8:10.
8:10. The fact that they indicated they've been up in the auction, there are buyers, but they've now pulled back. I will say they're going to be at 93 at 8:10.
93.
So indicating 91 to uncrossing 300,000 shares.
I'll go 90.4.
Pull them back a little bit.
Right.
Okay.
So 90.4 and 93p.
See where they go. I I didn't see anything on British American Tobacco, by the way. There was nothing specific out. Caught short, shouting there. Defense Holdings. I saw this yesterday. A Graham Dixon pick from a few weeks ago. What a move. What a move.
Cracker.
Up at 310 now.
Is it 310?
3 pennies 10.
What a call by him.
What a pick.
That is incredible. So tell us if you guys are still in Defense Holdings. I'm not. I've taken my money. It paid for my holiday. But I have to buy him a bottle of whiskey now as well. This is getting too much. I had to buy Julian Wheeler a bottle of whiskey for his MongoDB.
Really?
I fancy I owe Graham a little bit more.
Yeah, you got to give Dicko a quick call. I can confirm it was Sam Peach that you got on the phone.
It was it?
Yeah, he's messaging me. He's like, I just want to check. It was Stellantis in France, right? So
Has he got it for me yet?
Well done, Sam, for being
Get the
prudent.
chat. Has he got it? Right, there we go. JD Sports off and running. It is 90 pence. So 90p just dipping under there. All the uncrossing volume going through. Let's see where that one settles. But that is up 2%.
Where are we? Sorry.
Oh, no, right back to lunch. The market doesn't know what to do with this.
No, it doesn't. There you go. Wow, 88.10 traded. So weak. We thought before the market opened that it was going to be weak because of that kind of question mark on the future guidance.
Yeah.
Now up on the day. Now we're up 0.25%. Yeah, all over the place.
Great thing about markets. Tell us what you think is going to happen there in JD Sports. We got to look at Nike at some point. What do we think Nike is going to do next week on numbers?
Wow, look at that chart. Look at that. Come straight. Oh, there you go. Come straight back in.
It's incredible to like, you know, so basically what happens at this time is the traders on the desks are seeing people come in, right? The trades are going into the algos. And for example, if I didn't like the trading update and I held $5 million of them, I would probably phone up a desk, just as I did to Sam Peach. I'd say, I'll sell you 2 million at 89, take the other 3 million to work over the next hour. And that's why you're getting that. Because if I was a buyer and I saw, well, there it's getting smashed now. So somebody at a bank has just been thumped in $2 million worth and they puke it out. Because they don't have a view on the stock, right? It's just a market maker sitting there. So they don't want risk because it could be 85 in a minute. And they know that they've got £3 million worth to sell afterwards. So they just get rid of it. That has that effect, and it maybe gives you an opportunity because if you're a buyer here, I don't think you'll be in a big rush. The hedge funds were buyers of Kingfisher yesterday, and they got killed on the back of that 15% move. Then they got squeezed up 20%, and that was the hedge funds closing their shorts. Of course, then the stock comes right back off.
Big move though. Really? I mean, that it's the top to bottom that makes that look scarier than it is. You know, we're down 0.5% from yesterday's close. Big whoop. Okay, you wouldn't, if that was just a normal day, we wouldn't have even spoken about it. The fact that it's open to high and come cratering back down again, looks quite scary. So yeah, just be aware. What do they say? Expect their full year 26 to be in line with expectation. Limited impact from tariffs. Pre-tax profit missed. 100 million buyback to try and kind of stem it. Yeah, I mean, not a huge amount to say on it, particularly.
It's JD. Yeah, it's whether, you know, do you believe that next year is going to be a better year because of the Olympics, because maybe Nike improved their offering, World Cup, you know, that's the big one.
Yes, of course, next year in America. Big.
JD Sports got business in America now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's reasonable size now, actually. It does affect the P&L.
Yeah. Would you get a football shirt ahead of the World Cup?
He's taking,
you got to, right?
Taking the piss.
You got to. Okay, right.
Why would I get a football shirt ahead of the World Cup?
What? Why would you not?
Because my country's not in it.
Is that true?
Yes.
Sorry, pal. Then you got to get an English shirt. I'm sorry. You are approved, by the way. You can sell 200 shares of Porsche. Get on the phone, my friend. Oh, you're getting a call.
Not
Pick up the
Porsche.
call. Pick up the call.
Good morning, Richard speaking. How can I help?
good for 200 shares borrow in Stellantis, 0.9% borrow.
0.9%. Thank you very much, sir.
Are you going to sell them?
Thank you.
You going to sell them, or you just want the borrow?
Well, yeah, I'm going to do it now, but
No, you can't. You need to give the instruction on the phone because the platform is still going to block you. So call him back, Sam. Do him.
Well, hang on. Let's do it when we go off because I might need more than that.
Wow, Andrew McKelvey, USA is now 40% of JD Sports. Thank you for that. That is,
Yeah, 40% of revenues.
yeah, awesome.
Maybe not 40% of profits.
Okay, come on. Where's the Porsche chart? What are we looking at?
Stellantis.
Stellantis, correct.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
So tell him I need more than 200 shares.
You need another more. What do you need now?
Well, that's 1,600 euros.
So
So
how
we've done
many-
8,000 euros of Porsche.
So you need another.
I need 1,000 shares of borrow in total.
Okay.
Please. Right, what haven't we looked at this morning? We haven't looked at Defense Holdings. Should we have a look at Pinsana as well?
PRE.
Not really doing quite as good. That's 122 to 125. Just to update our smaller names. Yeah, 280 to 290 on Defense Holdings. Phenomenal. Hopefully, we have Carlo Verda still in Defense Holdings, and we've got Caught Short has just top sliced his, and now it is a free trade.
Happy days. De-risked. That's exactly what you want to see.
Funky Gibbon still holding Defense, may take some off soon.
Okay, you've been approved for 1,000 shares borrowed.
Yes. Right,
Get on the phone.
get done.
You're done. You're done. I can't do it here because you've got a call on the tape line, my friend.
Luke Moore, I'm selling you 1,000 at 825. It's going down. Right, it is 8:11. It is time to let Angeline and I will go and have a little skirmish with Sam Peach because he's cost me 5 cents now.
You haven't traded.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's cost me 5 cents.
Why?
I'm waiting, not having automated borrow.
You had him on the phone. And you didn't
That
do
was for
anything.
200 shares.
You asked for 200 shares.
200 shares.
What do you want to do? Well, anyway,
Thought
go and,
Pete
get
Ward was bad.
go and get your trade dealt with.
Yes, Scotland can still qualify. Fingers crossed.
Can they? What is there more? Are there more qualifiers to play?
Yeah.
I tried. I slightly unsubscribed from the betweeners of Euros and World Cups. Fully subscribed for Euros and World Cups.
Yeah.
But the friendlies and qualifiers, God, it's dry, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is dry
We're
stuff.
Talking about betweeners, we got the in-betweeners in the studio today. Mr. Watson there laughing at the chances of Scotland getting in. Phil, well, Scotland are playing better than producer Phil's fantasy team. We know that at least.
Oh, I had a stinker this weekend.
I see Monkey Man
absolute
is in the chat though. Monkey Man left 26 points on the bench.
Who was on the bench for him?
Bruno Fernandes. And
I mean, I don't even want to look. I mean, it was my worst week yet. None of the good games came through, and none of my players scored. I've got to get rid of Florian Wirtz. One absolute waste of points, Florian Wirtz is.
quick look, we're looking at Disney for Monkey Man and Maturin. So they're saying that this is a hot stock on the Discord group for discussion. And of course, Jimmy Kimmel has come back. Is it Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he lashed out at Trump, talking about free speech, and the guy just can't take a joke. Interesting way to come back.
Yeah, I don't know. I was listening to a couple of discussions around it. I think with the advent of how quickly content moves around now, and I think people's individual ability to curate their own content stream, by the time you get to these late night shows, you've probably already had 5 different versions of a story. So I actually wonder whether they're still appropriate or whether they're still getting the audience. And there's probably a discussion around viewership and actually was the show even worth running, right? They're kind of mouthpieces for the networks and everything that comes through.
Yeah.
So there is a fairly well-founded critique of that whole industry anyway,
Yeah.
right? I just don't know if I care, really.
And it shouldn't affect the Disney share price, should it?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I mean, it's moved, 3 down days, but it's ultimately basing around the price we are now. But I'd argue we're now at support. We went there at the start of August. We broke through it at the beginning of June. To me, it's a technical move more than anything else.
Yeah.
I'm not that interested in it.
Good. Right. To find out what Luke Moore is interested in, join us in 2 minutes' time for some fast markets. And then we got Piers Buckworth. He's downstairs in reception. He'll be moaning at the receptionist again for not having his name on the front desk.
Put his name on the front desk then.
He had a wobble last time.
Well, just email reception. I thought guys are fantastic. You've got a TV. Your guests up. You have to look after people.
Do you hear this, producer Phil?
Don't switch the escalator off. Should we switch the escalator off on him? Stop.
Yes, so let's switch the escalator off on Piers Buckworth. Brilliant. I'm going to go and do that right now. Like and subscribe. We haven't seen any subscriptions this morning.
Uh-oh.
Nobody has subscribed.
How many are we up to? Where are we? Where are we?
We're at 1,750. Tell us if you are a new subscriber on the chat, please. We welcome you. We send out big love for our viewership out there because they all give us big thumbs up.
The millennials do it like this now. So we do.
Sorry, I'm a millennial.
Gen Zers do this.
Yeah, you're more a Gen Z, aren't you?
I'm absolutely a this, but Gen Zers do that. Just saying.
And they're also with wings on the side as well.
You got to do that.
They're Dr. Watson. I cannot wait until we get a camera in the gallery. It is coming. You are going to see the kind of things that go on in that gallery with the guys. Right, so have you hit the thumbs up? Because we're not going to a break until we get enough thumbs up. 25. Okay, no, you're good.
Hang on, what share price are we tracking now? 17. What did you say? 1750. We are. How many subscribers did you say we have? 1,700.
1,750. That's right. Sorry, I thought you were talking about
1,750 puts us between Scottish Southern Energy at 1718 and Diageo at 1770. So we've got to be targeting what's near there. BAE Systems, 1985. That's got to be the target, isn't it? 2000?
good year.
There you go.
Right, with JD Sports trading 87.90. So we were both wrong. We were 2%. I was 2% off.
How's yellow cake? Flat as a pancake. Flat as a yellow pancake.
Aha, very good. We'll see you in 2 minutes for Fast Markets.
Ciao, ciao.
If you're looking for flexible ways to trade financial markets, whether you're experienced or new to trading, you've come to the right place. CFDs let you speculate on the price of financial instruments like shares, indices, forex, and commodities without actually owning them. You can benefit from both rising and falling prices across 17,000 markets, letting you find the perfect opportunity. So if you think the market's going up, you buy. If you think it's going to go down, you sell. When trading CFDs, you're trading on leverage. Now, leverage lets you trade bigger positions with less money up front. So this increases your profits on your trades, but also remember your losses are also amplified. So be sure to manage your risk. With us, you're not alone. You're part of a wide community of traders that you can learn from. We've got the experts, the tools, and extensive educational resources to help you on your journey. If you're not quite ready to trade CFDs with real money, you can always give it a go on a demo account. Open an account today, join the conversation, and be inspired to make moves. Welcome to the Art of Investing, a brand new podcast to help you achieve your investing goals. Join me, Rich McDonald, and my co-hosts, Mark Spice Holden and Chris CJ Fellingham, every Friday when we bring you updates from the markets and insights from our combined 100 years of investing experience.
Let's do this. Hello, Pat Cash. So guys, I've always been known to be the fastest, fittest, mentally the toughest, but the cash returns, that's something else. Watch and learn. Come on, Pat. Cash returns, come on. Hey guys, where are you going? You're not going to get better than cash returns.
Here we are on Fast Markets with myself and Luke. I was outside there. Did you hear me bursting out in laughter when everyone in the gallery was doing this?
Yeah, I got it wrong. Clearly, I'm not a Gen Zer, but it's the middle finger, right?
Yeah, middle
you have to do
finger.
that.
Yeah. Some people even join the fourth finger. I can't do this, it's just like,
What, as in you don't have to dexterity?
giving us a different finger. But we have a lot of young, handsome men in there, making sure that our audio and our charts work every day. Speaking of charts, we'll take one that perhaps some people on the PCM desk are customers of. You might be able to tell us whom. This is Saga.
Okay. Saga is...
This is the hourly chart, people. Let's give you the daily to show you the move there. But Saga is rising more than 5% right now.
Yep. They're trading. So again, we spoke about that just before the show and before the market opened. Their trading performance was ahead of expectations. Their EBITDA was ahead, and their net debt improved. Zoom out a little bit. How are we looking at that on a longer term trend basis?
So
is this a breakout, guys? This is what we're looking for.
This is what I like. Thank you so much. You're so prescient. I love it. This isn't planned, by the way, trader friends. So I have put on my EMA for you. And what I really love in particular, as you all probably know by now, is when my 20, my 50, 100, and especially the 200, which is the line in the sand, the 200 is the health check, true health check monitor.
Yep.
You ever go for your yearly health check, or you just leave it?
I've actually been meaning to do that for such a long while.
Yeah.
Since I'm now I'm a nearly a mid-30-year-old man. I need a full health check. Right. Ronnie was trying to get me to
MOT, darling.
Yeah, there was a Daniel Ek of Spotify fame has got a healthcare clinic that Ronnie was on the waiting list for, and he said it was. I don't know if he did it or not. Actually, I'll have to check up with him today. I would love to, but I don't know. Saga, I imagine they do. It's a healthcare.
No, they sell to the over 50s, everything from, insurance, everything. But the reason why I talk about health check is because that 200 EMA to me is the line in the sand. This is like true. Luke Moore is in pristine health. Saga is in pristine health when the price action is above all of those, especially the 200. So can you see it's got really nice green candles there, and it is above. And also checking out the screen there, we're looking good in that there's like no strange volume indicators. Taking a look on the weekly as well, because take a look at that lovely, this is the weekly, people. You can see that it has broken out confidently from levels last seen in January 2023.
Wow, that's a big base.
That is a big base, right?
That's a big base.
What I also love is, I'm going to draw you that nice resistance here. Can you see that support? Sorry, the support, nice support there, and it is, definitely, confidently broken away from all of that. So this to me is, don't fight the trend, my friend. Saga is on its way up.
Yeah, let me just give you some more quotes off of their the actual news. They said their delivery of strategic plans are on track. They have got strong forward bookings in travel for the second half of this year and expect further improvement in profitability in both their ocean and river cruise holiday segment. The insurance business has performed well in the first half, and we expect to see that continue. Their full-year leverage ratio is now below the prior year, and they are confident in achieving their underlying profit before tax of at least 100 million by Jan 2030. So positive across the board there. EBITDA was up 27%. We didn't give you the raw number. That's pretty positive. So you see that, and then you back it up against that technical breakout.
Yeah.
You know.
And those EMAs.
Yeah. I just don't think, is it something would you allocate towards an insurer? it's not something that's in my circle of competence, really.
Well, I kind of think if I'm looking for a mate to my IAG, then I think, where can I find safety, and where can I find, a stock that is going to be able to benefit whether or not we have strong travel demand or weaker travel demand. And I think at the moment, Saga is looking quite attractive. This is not trading advice. However, I can tell you that producer Phil has been on the beach too much.
Producer Phil's been.
Yes, he's been on the beach too much because one that is hurting today, very much like him after
OTB.
double sunstroke, is OTB. Take a look at that chart.
Beach.
Producer Phil says that that's his nickname.
What, on the beach?
On the beach.
OTP, OTP.
Just saying, he's had 3 beach holidays this summer, loving his style. You've only had 1, haven't you?
So I've actually, what did I do? It was my honeymoon in January, which was technically a beach holiday. We popped to Biarritz, just as you do. We just popped to Biarritz a couple of weeks ago. And that was actually, it should have been a beach holiday, but we treated it as a city break. So I would go back to Biarritz, and I fully recommend going to Biarritz. It's a stunning place in France, absolutely stunning.
Well, on the beach is a bit less stunning because it is down more than 16% there. This is the package holiday provider. So clearly you went posh, you didn't go with this holiday provider.
No, we did it ourselves.
Neither did producer Phil, who also went on his proper honeymoon, well deserved. And then ended up in a dark room after double sunstroke. Forecasting full year adjusted pre-tax profit that was below market expectations. I'm just going to come off that chart for just a second because I'm going to read out some of the issues with this company. I'm going to put it on the weekly chart so you can see where we last were at today's level. And on the beach, the annual outlook really disappointed. And it seems to like that left-hand side. Rich and I have just, we're starting to get used to the quirks in this new studio.
The new studio with the screens and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
It is spacious. I like it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
And the lighting. I'm a big fan of your new house.
It feels great, right? The new house, new carpet smell as well. So it's not just the below market estimate outlook, but also the company is winding down its B2B unit to focus on more consumer-facing outfits and it's putting money more into its consumer-facing front office, really. So full year adjusted PBT of £34.5 million, negative £35.5 million versus the market view of more than £38 million. So investors not liking that news.
Okay. I tell you what I would like to look at. Can we look at Alibaba, please?
Ooh, Baba!
Alibaba are on an absolute tear at the moment.
Was it
Check
Monkey
that out.
Man that mentioned that this morning, or was it you, Boise?
So they're in the AI space. So they've come through and they've said that the CEO has expanded their AI investment plans. So they've now put CapEx beyond the 50 billion that they were initially targeting. They're now going to spend a lot more than that. Their new model, the Qwen 3 Max, has been unveiled. And I don't know much about the technicalities. If anyone does, I hope it lands with you. They've got a 1 trillion parameter large language model that they've launched. And I think it's just continuing this huge CapEx story. But Alibaba's a name that I kind of broke a couple of years back. I'm going to say it's gone slightly under the radar because it's been caught up at the start of this year with a lot of the kind of China trade deal. There's a lot going on over there, but it's a huge conglomerate. Eddie Wu's CEO, is now saying that they're expecting $4 trillion in global AI investment over the next 5 years, which is just ridiculous numbers. And interestingly, listeners of the show will know Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood, of course, of ARK Investments.
Yes.
She has just used this as an opportunity to buy back into Alibaba, and she's not had a position for 4 years. And she's fairly active in terms of trading those funds, right? But 4 years absence, so she's coming back. So whatever the figures have been, these new capex numbers and this new model, it's bringing American investors back to the name. So I imagine we'll start to see this story gather some pace. And again, look, where you've drawn that line, you'd argue it was breaking out. I would even just go to that lower peak. If you see the peak from the start of 2025, and we've broken out across it over the last couple of days, it's a name that's turning, right? So if you're looking for an AI name, Alibaba are firmly putting themselves back in the shop window there.
Yeah, and what I like about this as well is that Eddie Wu not only committed to more spending in terms of AI, which aligns with the likes of NVIDIA, right, all the others, but also said that the company, the cloud unit, aims to become the world's leading full-stack AI service provider.
That's what they're aiming for.
Yeah.
I think Google will get there first.
Google
as
is
a
also
play.
another
For me,
really,
well-
I think Google is going to be the real star, Alphabet rather, of the entire AI race.
Well, you've got I
think-
kind of already mentioned it on the show here, but it's had a huge move already.
Yeah.
Let's not forget.
We've had loads of people on the show that said, "Oh, what if Apple's being clever about it and just staying out and seeing the AI fight play out a bit like Hunger Games, and then they pick off the best ones." I struggle to go with that idea. I almost feel like Apple have been late to join the party.
Oh, they've
What do
completely
you
been
think?
too late. Yeah, completely been too late. I mean, they've been moving pretty well over the last couple of days. Tuesday they were up. No, Monday. What day is it? Wednesday. Yeah, Monday they were up 2 to 3%. Gave a little bit back yesterday, as most of the market did. But Apple has been kind of not under the radar, but not loved like the other Mag 7 names have been. The interesting thing on this Alibaba story is Jefferies have come out and they've reiterated their buy rating on them. So clearly they're doing enough to bring themselves back to the forefront, which is interesting. I mean, it's kind of the feeling I had with Oracle. Of course, Oracle had their huge results a couple of weeks ago. They're now inextricably linked with this TikTok spin-off kind of algorithm onshoring over in the States. But I put them down in this more kind of traditional tech as opposed to this kind of more AI tech. I mean, look, you're about to hear from Piers, so I imagine these things are going to be really interesting to talk to him about as someone that lives and breathes this entire sector.
Yeah.
But it's good to see Baba come back. Any of these stocks that are moving, I'm always a big fan of. So hopefully we've got some winners out there.
I'm really, really curious to see what Piers says, because the other thing that Alibaba has under its hood, people, I'm going to show you here very quickly, is QN3, and this I've heard great things about it. I'm heading to Asia in a few weeks. Hopefully we'll be able to test this out, but it is almost I've heard seamless text, voice, image, almost like Grok on speed.
They're all getting this good, though.
Oh, I know,
Let's be
right?
honest. They're all getting this good. Gemini is fantastic. Grok is fantastic. ChatGPT is equally fantastic. They're all competing against each other. We use Claude mainly here, and Claude is Anthropic's model, still private, but they're just seeing huge amounts of investment going into the space. That model, so Qwen 3, multimodal, immersive, built specifically for VR applications such as smart glasses and intelligent cockpits.
There you go. I test drove the Xpeng part at my thumb with my thumb.
Is it Chipeng, technically?
Xpeng.
Xpeng. Oh, someone told me it was Chi, like a Chipeng.
Well, it depends. I mean, there's no right or wrong way because there are 4 intonations in Mandarin, right? There's a right way to rap, says Phil. But we don't have much time. But everyone I've met so far, including the Chinese and also the person that showed us the car, I had it for several hours. It's voice recognition. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Most of the, I even tested it in Cantonese. Wow.
Just amazing.
Yeah. Take hang means go straight. Jake Lock, go straight. Jake Hang, go straight to the break, I was going to say. But very quickly, just 20 seconds. I just want to show you Porsche, because you talked about it. You love a Porsche as well. Under the hood, people, under the hood of the Porsche, I have driven the Taycan recently, is a very amazing thing, because if you are looking at investing in this or BYD, I've sort of come away from BYD after Warren Buffett also came away from it.
You came away from it, yep.
Came away completely, right? According to the filings.
According to Rich, he's made 23 times his money, though.
Yeah.
So.
And so I will bring this up later on with Piers, but if you look under the hood, they're all BYD batteries, yeah? In the EVs there. Right, stay right there. We are going to show that with Piers if you're interested in that and how to play BYD and Porsche and other tech stocks. Piers is coming up next.
Bye.
Watch Trade Live with IG weekdays from 7:30 a.m. on our brand new YouTube channel at Trade Live with IG.
As well as the live show on our new YouTube, you will find our full beginner's course to trading options, daily YouTube shorts of all the action that happens after the show is finished, and Trade of the Week and Psychology of Markets.
And don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive trading content.
Let's do this. Hello, Pat Cash. So guys, I've always been known to be the fastest, the fittest, mentally the toughest, but the cash returns, that's something else. Watch and learn. Come on, Pat, come on. Cash returns, come on. Hey guys, where are you going? You're not going to get better than cash returns.
Do you like the sound of tax-free trading? Well, that's exactly what spread betting enables you to do. This tax-free way of trading lets you speculate on the price of over 17,000 financial instruments, like shares, indices, forex, and commodities, without actually owning them. With spread betting, you can benefit from both rising and falling prices, letting you find the perfect opportunity. So if you think the market's going up, you buy. If you think it's going down, then you can sell short. Not only is spread betting exempt from capital gains tax, but it's also commission-free. All you pay is the spread. With us, you're not alone. You're part of a wide community of traders that you can learn from. We've got the experts, the tools, and extensive education. Welcome back. The man is back with us. It's Piers Buckworth, Tech Focus.
Hey man, here we are. Just up on your studio.
It is. Did you like the table?
I like everything about it. The lighting's a hell of a lot less hectic. It's good fun.
Yeah, on that hair, just as well.
My hair's got some volume today again. Here we go.
I was actually going to go out and stop the escalator as you got on it, like the United Nations did to Trump.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't make it out on time. You were early today for the first time ever.
That's not true. Okay. Right. So what are we going to do? Where do you want to kick it off?
We've got a few things to cover, but Micron is probably the most topical with numbers last
certainly
night.
with the numbers last night.
Sorry, my sales traders.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Your
sales trade.
Hello, Pete Ward, how are we doing?
Unreal.
Hi, Richie, how are we doing?
Very good. So we're just on live. So is this a chat or is it something to
No, just to let you know, your order in Stellantis, you have managed to sell 1,000 shares at 8.27.
Perfect. And the borrow is all good.
Yeah, borrows all
Excellent.
great, yeah. So they're done now and trading at 8.27.6, 8.27.9, and done 700,000 shares.
Thank you, Pete Wards.
No worries.
Back to work with you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Shameless stuff.
Sorry for the interruption. Micron.
What was that about? Okay.
We're short 1,000. Well, we bought some Porsche again, shorting Stellantis.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. Anyway,
You're a bit of a Stellantis.
So funny. So Micron, yeah, I mean, listen, Micron we spoke about in the last, was it last week? Fascinating story in the fact that this is a cyclical semiconductor company that's Silicon Valley. It's been the center of Silicon Valley for decades and decades. It's trades like that. It's very hard to invest in because of the cyclicality of the business, the DRAM and the NAND and the memory. This is a classic example where I just look at what's going on right now, and quite frankly, I have nothing but just regret because I've spoken to clients about this for probably 3 years straight about what about memory? Why isn't AI focusing on memory? We all know they need power. We all know they need GPUs. We all know they need cooling systems. But what about memory? They all require memory. It's just the facts. So why are the memory guys not getting their go over this?
And what was the market missing there?
And just the orders, because this is all just happening. So this is all happening in real time. So the orders started to flow in, and Micron has just completely re-rated because Micron is usually priced as if it's like that, but now it's being priced with just like a Nvidia type thing, right? It's just with consistent. They can see where the revenue is coming for the next 3 or 4 years. Now, listen, the stock has had. Everyone cottoned onto this about a month ago, and then there was an update about 2 weeks ago in particular, which caused all the analysts. There's a particular chip called the, where's my thing? I forget the name of it, MB15, I think it is. Okay. It's a new type of memory. So I saw 5 or 6 analysts come out with price targets above 200 when this was trading at 155 before the earnings, right? It was quite an unusual situation. Yeah. So the earnings had to be amazing, the guidance had to be amazing, and they were. But the stock's up, last time I checked, was up about 3.5% after market. I don't know what it's doing pre-market. We haven't got pre-market yet.
Not quite as spicy as that. We do. IG do 24-hour trading now.
They do. So isn't that exciting? So where is it trading then?
About 1%.
So exactly right. And that is exactly in line with what my thoughts are here. It was up 5. But then it's just exhausted because this is what happens and this is where the market shoots itself in the foot, where there's too much positivity into the print. Now, Micron's going to be a fascinating day because it's going to fight because it's overbought, it's very exuberant, there's too much positivity, but it's great numbers. So it might fight its way back to 3.5%, 4%, but then I would fade that move and just in terms of short-term trading, but in terms of structural positioning on this company, you have to like it because it's coming from a base where no one was long, and that can correct itself over the space of years, not months. So
this kind of reminds me of an Oracle situation.
There's a lot of this going on.
The same thing for Oracle.
Exactly right, and I'm going to use this opportunity to mention Marvell again because this hasn't actually happened yet, and it will happen. No one's reading the tea leaves here, right? They're doing almost the same thing.
When we looked at the graph first of all.
Please tell me you're still long that, by the way. You sent me a message when it was down 18% panicking. It's now higher than where it was before.
I was not panicking at all. If we take this bit out of it, that reminds me of Marvell. That is exactly the same chart.
Very similar, yeah.
Especially year to date. So let's move on to that one. And do we have an update? Because this is recovered.
Well, there's no update, right? I mean, the company haven't spoken.
It's the same chart.
Very similar, but the thing is, guys, is that this is one of the only, and this is what I specialize in, right? I am terrible at chasing crowded stocks. I miss out on lots of upside. I've got no interest in doing it. I never will do it. It's not what I do. What I do is try and find companies that haven't moved yet. And this is a great example of something that I love, right? The ducks are aligned. We've heard what the company have got to say. We know what they do. The only thing is that they haven't quite got the orders yet. And my feeling is that is because they will have a Micron moment. It could be next quarter, it could be the quarter after, I don't know. But when they have that Micron moment, this stock will be well and truly beyond the highs because I know that it's a retail favorite as well. Then the options will go bananas, right? And it will be up. I've seen it happen before. It's just a matter of time. So that's why I'm focused on that one. And also the price action is very encouraging. Yeah. Minus 18% on that sell-off on the earnings, which by the way was completely wrong. 58% revenue growth. Why is it selling off 50? It's crazy. It's much, much, much cheaper than some of the other stocks. Massive revenue clip. So it's quite rightly made its way all the way back to where it was. And now I think the market will slowly work it out. It'll just take an update from like someone, because the market is so thick. Actually, it doesn't think.
The market's always right, Piers.
It is, but it only trades the information it has.
Yes.
Not the information it doesn't have. And that's what you've got to get your head around. You think it's good to be smart and think ahead of the game. That may be the case, but often it's not, because you have to wait for the news to be on the tape for everyone to feel confident to buy it. The analysts won't say anything until the news is on the tape. So anyway,
well, so we covered Micron, we covered Marvell. Let's go back to Oracle there. We mentioned it, but you do have quite a firm view on this at the moment in the short term.
Yeah, I just think it's overcooked. And listen, I mean, I totally see the argument for Oracle, and I agree with it. But listen, look what happened yesterday. Look what happened in the last 48 hours, right? The stock yesterday was sold off 5% on volume as all of the large AI capex stories reversed. When there was a Bain Capital report that came out saying that there could be an $800 billion revenue shortfall for all these big capex spenders, not receivers. And everyone started questioning what this AI NVIDIA deal actually means. And what it actually means is NVIDIA are now flexing their muscles, right? They've got we all know that they're the king's largest company in the world, massive amounts of cash. They're just buying stakes in everyone and flexing their muscles, trying to stimulate. The question now is, are they trying to artificially stimulate and expand their own demand path? Or are they doing the cleverest thing ever, and this is going to turn out to be a multi-billion-dollar profit for them? The problem is
both.
Or both. Question is, the problem is that the time frame now, right? We're 2025. The revenue projections are starting to hit in 2029, maybe 2030.
Yeah.
There's some big question marks because we're talking about trillions of dollars now, right? It's a fine line that they're walking. We all know that AI is real. We know it's an industrial revolution. We know all this stuff, but what we don't know is exactly the scope, scale, and when the revenues are going to start to kick in for these guys. So Oracle's a different story, though. I mean, they're coming from a low base and re-rating, but I just think it's not going to just keep ripping higher. It needs to calm down a bit, in my view.
The management changes, the TikTok deal, it adds to the argument of upside in the medium to longer term.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also, let's just talk about the valuation, right? The valuation on this, it was dirt cheap. It was on 26 times forward. It's now on 53 times forward. Okay, I'm talking about earnings. Now that is still incredibly cheap versus their growth profile if you look at a company like Palantir. But I think we need to remember, I mean, with Palantir now, and we can talk about, is I've put that to one side because I'm fighting something that's different that's going on here, and it's impossible to fight. It just is, right? You've got the CEO, Mark Benioff of Salesforce validating their valuation, saying, I wish our products were given that premium.
Yeah.
Right, and that's a different way of thinking about it, right? I don't agree with it, and I still believe that the stock's going to have a day of reckoning, but I'm not going to fight it. They've got 3 more upgrades yesterday. Bank of America moved it to 215. They did.
So that was yesterday's up 1.5% move when everything else
sold off. Palantir was up yesterday. Bank of America upgraded, and there was a deal with Boeing on the defense space, right? They did a deal with Boeing. It was positive for Boeing, positive for Palantir. But just look at the price action of this thing. Everything in that space got hit yesterday, apart from Palantir. And I give up. I'm not trading this thing. So it's just not worth the fight. There's other things to do.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. I can't be bothered. And listen, I don't agree with the valuation. I don't agree with a company being given a premium when other companies are not like this. But I also respect price action, and I've got no interest in fighting it anymore. So.
There's still an argument to be made for, on the option side, selling calls and selling puts, because we saw it dropped to a more normalized level around 155. Now, you're happy to buy it at 155, so you're happy to sell puts, and especially when the vol's that big. So that's one thing, is that you're selling at 155, you're selling at 200, let's say, or even Bank of America, you want to sell the 210s, you probably get $5 for it.
Yep, I mean, your option strategy are always nicely hedged and clever, and a good way of just chipping away and making money. Couldn't agree more.
That's not what you say off air. That's
no. I mean, personally, I just find it quite complicated and a bit messy. But you're very good at doing it, and you also make money out of it. So that's great. But just in terms of naked positioning on this company, I don't.
Dangerous.
I just listen. You've got to. It doesn't matter whether I think I'm right or wrong, or whether I am right or wrong. The market's telling you a very different thing, and I'm not fighting it anymore. Goodbye. Yeah. It's off my screen.
Right. Just beware the crash.
Yeah, no, listen. If it crashes, great, but I've got QQQ short. I'm happy with it. It's a lot less stressful.
Let's go on to plug, because this thing...
Now, let's talk about something that is working perfectly.
Suddenly took off. What have you done?
Well,
It's a rocket ship.
I mean, listen, I dare I say this is just a home run. This is exactly what I thought was going to happen, right?
Well done.
This is exactly what I thought was going to happen, and for exactly the same reasons, and that's a nice feeling, unlike Palantir.
Boise's saying thank you. He sold at 280 yesterday.
Yeah, well, that's nice. Well done. That's a 3 handle would have been nice, but that sounds like you made a nice trade there.
Do better, Boise.
Yeah, it's shocking trading, mate. So, I mean, listen, this is undergoing a short squeeze, and it's for good reason. And what I find most interesting about this, and this is, again, similar to Micron and Marvell, is that it's all about, yes, okay, there's a lot of things going on with this company. First of all, the heavily shorted small caps are squeezing, particularly in areas like LiDAR and alternative energy and all these different places. But the story yesterday, which really got this going, was that these guys are now being looked at because they had a significant increase in one of their production facilities of hydrogen fuel. And the market suddenly thought, hang on a sec, we're desperate for power in this world. They're just ramping nuclear, they're ramping coal, they're ramping everything they can possibly get their hands on. Why not hydrogen? So, and that makes total sense, of course. And we've got 33% short interest in this company, so it's not going to take much. But bearing in mind, so I've been trading in and out of this thing like a maniac because that's what I do. And I missed, to be honest with you, I probably made about 55% out of it instead of 155%. Nonetheless, I sold yesterday. I bought it when it was up 6% on the open, sold it when it was up 20%, then waited and started buying it again, and it was up when it was up 5%, gently. It'll be down again today. Listen, it needs to come back. It was up 10 days in a row. Yeah. It's a volatile, crazy short squeeze, but my view is the short squeeze has got further to go, and the market's probably going to cotton on a little bit more to the power angle to this because it makes sense.
So the market's starting to branch out. It's starting to look at memory. It's starting to look at power, and you're seeing fully valued. Even Jerome Powell was telling you that stocks are expensive. Of the Nvidias, of the are we at peak positive news flow?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're in a very, very exuberant, scary market in many departments. But you've got to keep. But I do think that it's morphing and it's rolling. And the focus has all been on the hyperscalers, the obvious AI capex beneficiaries. Have been crowded names, which are no longer leading the market. Mm-hmm. And the small caps have been given a green light by the rate cuts and the macro. So that so there's a lot of short squeezing going on and there's a lot of in energy and the more value orientated stuff, but also the junk part of it. And I think that's got legs. I think the market can slowly correct in the obvious stuff, whilst this stuff outperforms. It's going to be volatile, but I can't see a market crash anywhere in the near term unless we have a catalyst for it. Yeah. And at the moment, we don't have one. So all I can see is a rolling over of QQQ, a much needed correction, whilst a lot of this stuff continues. Yesterday was a great example. The Russell was up 1.5% at one point when the QQQ was down 70 basis points. Yeah. Right, and that's rational. That's good. That's the way it should be right now. It's a nice day to see that, quite frankly. Yeah,
it's just whether it continues on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's the Hail Mary trade, long RTY versus short Nasdaq, right? Everyone wants to do that trade. Yeah. But does it ever work? Once in a blue moon. So I've got it on at the moment.
Like a long footsie.
It's a crazy trade because it sounds so awesome, but it never ever worked.
Yeah. Soundhound has worked.
Soundhound is great, yeah.
Shrimp Fred asking, where are we on Soundhound now?
Great. Well, hopefully you got in when I started talking about this around the 10 level. Casual 70%. This is back on the agenda for a number of reasons. The earnings report obviously started it all with 240% revenue growth and only 1 penny shy of a profit. And then they've done about 3 or 4 deals. Yesterday they did one with Red Lobster you can laugh all you want about it, but these guys are really penetrating healthcare systems, restaurants, in-car systems. It makes sense.
Just remind everybody what they do then.
So these guys are the oldest and most established AI voice assistants. So which makes sense. Like in a world of like driving is their obvious business, right? Because when you're driving, you need the highest quality AI-assisted voice you can have. Obviously makes total logical sense. Ordering food, dealing with health hospitals. There's a whole bunch of different applications. They've got loads of different new contracts going on. And they're growing ridiculously fast. I mean, 240% revenue growth, but they need to keep the bottom line going, which they are. From a technical perspective, this has now become a technical story as well, right? The chart looks awesome. It looks like it's going straight back to the highs of 24 to me. I actually sold my long because I'm a hyperactive ADHD trader, but I will be buying it back.
You have taken money in quite a lot of things, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm very wary of the upside and much more excited. I'm basically trading intraday at the moment. I'm cutting longs very quickly, and I'm just got my QQQ short. I've stopped.
Oh, there he is.
Stopped shorting all single stocks because I can't be bothered. I'm just got a large QQQ short.
That's what this kind of price action does to people. It drives you crazy.
Yeah, until
so single stock shorts get squeezed out.
Yeah.
And that's where we are. The majority of shorts have got to be squeezed by now.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty, and there's more to come. But it's like some are only just starting to get squeezed. But yes, it's a deeply frustrating market. But also, there's loads of money to be made. I've made 33% in the book that I run.
And it's almost too easy.
Well, this is the point. It's become, the volatility is so low, and the same trades are working.
Yeah.
And that's when it starts to get real easy to make money, and that's when it starts. But as a professional, you start going, alarm bells start going off. But that's okay. I've got my QQQ short.
You know what happens next?
Yeah, but the beauty of my short is that it's not going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
It's just massive. It's sitting there. If the market sells off, I'll make money.
Yeah.
I don't care. In the meantime, I'm just dicking around in these small caps. I don't care. It's quite fun. And buying things like Orsted and selling it on the rights issue and stuff, just silly stuff like that.
Do you know what? We haven't covered Orsted much. It's really interesting. I wonder if the initial move by Trump was because they wouldn't give him Greenland. So they decided to attack because Danish government, obviously one of the biggest holders.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, his entire attitude towards this whole space is pretty negative. But the judge blocked it, of course, right? So you saw that.
Yeah. So what?
So for now, and they're 80% complete on this project in Connecticut, which means that there's a very good chance that the judge has blocked it now. So whilst the Trump administration appeals that, in the meantime, they're just going to crack on doing their work. So bearing in mind, this stock...
Get the chart up, please, guys.
Orsted, yeah. This stock was being priced as if the US business was a zero. Plus, they did a massive diluting rights issue, which was actually quite well received. I mean, the market traded quite well on the back of that. And the rights have... So it's all actually gone quite well, based on the fact that it was an Armageddon situation about 2 weeks ago. Right? They've done a massive cap raise. It's huge dilution. That's all being done. And now we've got this Trump. So,
Guys, sorry, is anybody out there? Can we please get the chart up as requested? There we go. So this was this last move down, wasn't it? That's the rights issue.
Yeah. So hang on. What's this?
So this is the Danish line.
Are you looking at that on CMC Markets now?
Because it's so bad.
It's so good.
Yeah. Look
at that gap. Wow.
Yeah.
She's a big one.
And so it just shows you that 8% move yesterday on the back of the judge arguing in their favor is nothing, is it? Absolutely nothing.
No, listen, the stock didn't move. The stock was up 14% and it faded all day back and closed the day up 3.5%. So it's still, but then it's got support this morning. Listen, my view on Orsted is that it's a pile of steaming you-know-what. But
turbines.
But it's interesting because they're not going out of business. If you mark okay, look at what the analysts have done. There's been a whole bunch of hedge funds that have piled into this, by the way, in size.
Right.
The obvious upside is that there's a walking back of the US thing, right? And that means stock's up 50%.
Yeah.
Let's assume that does not happen, and let's assume that US business is zero, and you can still get a valuation of this company about 20-30% higher than where it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Where else are they?
My analysts have looked at it. I've looked at other analysts. It's not a zero. It's being trading like it's a zero, but it's not a zero.
Okay.
And I just love situations like this where the market gets so aggressively bearish on something, and you just work out, hang on a sec, is this going out of business or is it not going out of business? They're not going out of business. And the judge blocking is actually quite interesting because it means that at least they can complete that project in Connecticut, and maybe And maybe who knows? Who knows? We've seen the Trump administration do circles on this before. They did it with Plug.
Well,
They blocked
with everything.
They did it, exactly. So who knows what the next bit of news is going to be? Yeah. All I know is that if it's the worst case news, it still can go higher. So quite like it.
Now, talking about going higher, whoa, some of these followers on TikTok going through the roof. There he is. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
3,786. What market are we making, people? Next time Piers is in this studio, is he going to be over 5,000? I would be a buyer there. I'd be a buyer at 5,000.
A couple of decent videos up my sleeve today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really fun experience because it's unlike doing my day job. Everyone's incredibly humble and respectful and grateful for what they're getting, right? And hopefully you get paid for it eventually. We'll see. Anyway, it's fun because it also suits my incredibly hyperactive personality, engaging with people all the time. I don't think anyone can believe that I haven't not responded to a single message.
Fantastic.
Not a single one. So anyway, we'll
Good
see.
stuff. So if you want more of Piers, he's up there. US tech trader, no spaces.
There's a hell of a lot of copycats, so be careful of those.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
Who are just like trying to scam you out of money. So make sure you got the right one.
Yeah. Piers will never message you first, offering you
anything
to run your money for you, and then just send him your bank details.
Yeah, I mean, who does that anyway? I mean, who gives their bank details?
Guy tried to punch me in Broadgate Circle once because he came up to me and said, "Why are you asking for my bank details?" I said, "Sorry, mate, I've got no idea who you are."
Wow.
And it was one of the scammers, and he had responded to it.
Oh my god.
And he obviously saw me and went for me.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's quite the moment myself. Lucky I had Scotty Byrne as my security guard.
Christ.
And
that's interesting.
Yeah.
God, I hate it. I hate that dark side of being online. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's awful. Anyway.
Good stuff. Right. That's right. Show him some love. What's the US ticker of Orsted? That is a good question.
Oh, I wouldn't bother with that one, mate. It doesn't trade.
It doesn't trade, right? Okay, so yeah, you have to go down the Danish version. Good stuff, right? Piers, thank you very much, sir. We will get Ange in here to do your all sessions open coming up after this break. Thank you.
No worries, man. Thank you.
If you're looking for flexible ways to trade financial markets, whether you're experienced or new to trading, you've come to the right place. CFDs let you speculate on the price of financial instruments like shares, indices, forex, and commodities without actually owning them. You can benefit from both rising and falling prices across 17,000 markets, letting you find the perfect opportunity. So if you think the market's going up, you buy. If you think it's going to go down, you sell. When trading CFDs, you're trading on leverage. Now, leverage lets you trade bigger positions with less money up front. So this increases your profits on your trades, but also remember your losses are also amplified. So be sure to manage your risk. With us, you're not alone. You're part of a wide community of traders that you can learn from. We've got the experts, the tools, and extensive educational resources to help you on your journey. If you're not quite ready to trade CFDs with real money, you can always give it a go on a demo account. Open an account today, join the conversation, and be inspired to make moves. Welcome to the Art of Investing, a brand new podcast to help you achieve your investing goals. Join me, Rich McDonald, and my co-hosts, Mark Spice Holden and Chris CJ Fellingham, every Friday when we bring you updates from the markets and insights from our combined 100 years of investing experience.
Oh, the old bell, my favourite part.
Do you like our new bell?
I do, because the other one I felt like an absolute, you know what? Just didn't even make a bell noise. I was like,
Yeah, it was a bit broken. I think it was Pete Ward that broke it. He shook it too hard and fell to pieces. It was a £15 Amazon special. It has to be said.
Okay, yeah, well, anyway, this is good. It's got a bull on it as well.
Yeah, long live the bull. Let's have a look at the winners first.
Okay, where are we? So,
JD.com, look up.
Well, JD's up on the back of Alibaba, I would imagine.
Yeah, and then GM as well.
GM, yeah, let's have a look down this list. QuantumScape, excuse me.
I beg your pardon.
Excuse me.
PDD, a lot of the consumer names also up there, up 2%. We've also got some of the crypto-related names higher. Riot Blockchain there.
Yeah, I mean,
higher,
listen, it's all or nothing, right? It's just a small bounce back for what happened yesterday, which is all that stuff that's on that list. Most of that stuff on that list.
And I heard you say squeeze higher earlier. And
yeah, well, I mean, there's a bunch of different stuff in that list. First, we've got PDD and JD, who are obviously part of the Hong Kong bounce and the Alibaba thing. You've got Nvidia, which was off big yesterday. It's just up a little bit, so that's nothing. And then a bunch of small caps that are following through from yesterday. QuantumScape's interesting. It's having a massive rally. And that's obviously a big retail short squeeze name as well. They had an update whereby their technology, it's actually a fascinating story, that one. Their technology, which is essentially revolutionizing the EV battery technology, has now been put into practice in a motorbike by a Volvo. Volvo have a stake in the company. Anyway, basically proving that it's real. What else have we got?
Okay, let's have a look at the losers. We'll come back to NVIDIA because, as you know, I have a position in NVIDIA and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. Plug Power down.
That makes total sense, right? So I'm expecting, I hope it comes back more because I'm going to buy more and then sell it when it has another rally.
Boy, you see that
airlines, just like whatever, I don't know.
Well, Delta.
Novo Nordisk is down a little bit.
Yeah, I know you're looking at Novo closely.
Soundhound's fascinating. I mean, this stock is absolutely on a tear, completely ignoring everything else that's going on. I think it's probably going back up to the highs. There's a lot going on. A hell of a lot of the market seems to have finally regained its confidence in this stock. And the chart speaks for itself.
Yeah. So those of you that don't know SoundHound, they provide the best tech in voice activated technology. They use in many cars, actually.
Cars are the core business, but they're also doing it now in restaurants and in over-the-phone telehealth, a whole bunch of different stuff.
Speaking of which, all this good stuff that SoundHound AI does will need lots of chips, which is why I'd like to talk to you about ASML.
Yep.
ASML, I know in your note, which I read very diligently, you have a very interesting view on that, in that you are, I believe, coming up but looking to get back in. Is that right?
I sold the position. Now, bearing in mind, this was a beautiful thing, right? This is a great example of a situation that I love. 4 or 5 weeks ago, ASML was absolutely zero. Right? No one cared. They had just come off the back of the second quarter in a row of the CEO saying things like, we have no visibility, we have no idea. He's very, very conservative CEO. The market sold it off, gap down, no one cares. I have clients asking me, what's going on? When's this company ever going to turn around? So I initiated what's that time frame?
This is a weekly.
Okay, can we take it back like 2 months or at least?
Yeah, here we are, monthly.
Or even more than that. Can we take it like the chart back?
Yeah,
so I can see the chart.
So this is a monthly.
No. Can we just like a proper chart, like a?
That's a daily.
Well, yeah, okay, daily. But what's the time frame?
So this is 2002.
Okay, there we. Okay, whoa. Okay, that's quite a long one. All right, fine. I mean, it did nothing for what was it? Quite a long period of time. Yeah, I was hoping. Have you got a 5-year chart?
Yeah.
That would be great.
Let's have a look. It doesn't go to yearly, but I would just go.
Yeah, I've never quite understood those ones. Anyway, Right. So obviously, this is part of the group of stocks, the large cap, high quality companies that were dead and forgotten. Apple, Google, ASML, and all the rest of the ones that we've mentioned. This is fascinating because, of course, they've gone from not much has changed. Right. The company hasn't updated anyone. It's just this is how the market works, and I don't know why I say this with such enthusiasm and surprise because this is just how it works. But people don't get it still. Like, people will still be trying to argue that the fundamentals of the company, we all know the fundamentals of the company of ASML are great. It's just a matter of when are the market going to care and when are they not going to care. And they care now because we got the chip deal with the US, which took a regulatory barrier away. Then we got just more AI spending and more this and more that, and the market said, but most importantly was the positioning. The market rotated into the unloved, high quality companies. And they are obviously right in the middle of the agenda. Plus, they're obviously a winner in theory from the additional news that came out of the US with the Intel Nvidia deal and the Intel and CoreWeave. So they're a winner from the capex, full stop. So they're on a tear. I mean, they're very overbought. I'm out of the stock.
Yeah, but you're waiting to get it.
Wouldn't mind buying it, but hang on one sec. I've got to take this. This is a client thing. Hello. Yeah, sorry, I've got to leave. I've got clients actually paying me. I've got to get out of here.
It's like a movie here. My goodness me, it's a bit like a movie from the finance world. But yes, a big call there. So he's rushed off, but let's have a look at some of the big names that are on the All Sessions list very quickly. We also have NEO that was on the sell list there just now. Let's have a look whether it's gone up further. But also we've got Coca-Cola down slightly. It's really, really still risk on, friends there. Eli Lilly is one of those that I'm watching, is down a bit at the moment, looking to add to my positions because I am very bullish after the news. If those of you watching Eli Lilly, you'll know that it's just put an additional $6.5 billion bet on its obesity pill, and it is boosting and expanding its operations in the US. So just have a quick look at that story if you haven't seen it so far. I've eased off on and taken reduced my position on Novo, and it's more in Eli right now. Purely based on the fact that I think that this is a move of confidence, even though Eli's shares didn't move as much on the news. But if you've gone to the US as much as I have, it just reiterates how many people there are going to be starting to take these pills. And we have Axel Rudolph waiting in the wings. He's a very fit man, clearly does not need any of these pills or skinny pens. So be ready with all your technical analysis questions because Axel is coming right up.
Hello, I'm Axel Rudolph, Senior Technical Analyst at IG and Fellow of the Society of Technical Analysts with over 30 years experience in trading the financial markets. I've been following cryptocurrencies from the very beginning, and with IG's new crypto offering, I can finally share my technical analysis expertise on crypto with you. So join me every Wednesday morning for my new show, Charting Crypto, where I'll be answering your technical analysis questions on all things crypto, live on Trade Live with IG.
Welcome to The Art of Investing, a brand new podcast to help you achieve your investing goals.
I've seen at first hand the power of the wealth creation that one has been able to obtain from this industry. What we're going to do is we're going to put it into action by creating our own model portfolio.
We're going to be talking about the big indices that are around the world, because that is probably some of the safest ways for you to invest your money.
We need to bring this to everybody and help them then take control of their own investment story.
Join me, Rich McDonald, and my co-hosts Mark Spice Holden and Chris CJ Fellingham every Friday when we bring you updates from the markets and insights from our combined 100 years of investing experience.
Hello and welcome to Charting Crypto, and let's start off with Bitcoin, because everybody looks at Bitcoin. And what we can see here is kind of an interesting chart, because we are currently trying to hold at key support. And I say we're trying to hold because, as you can see here, we haven't had a daily close below this support down here. Now you might wonder what this is. This band of blue here, but what you can see is what I've told you about several weeks ago already. This area, going back to May of last year, these highs, together with the lows seen in August, at the beginning of August, and also here towards the end of August, that area here acted as support, then as resistance, can you see here on the 28th of August and also on the 6th of September, and now as support again. So it makes sense to keep track of previous support and resistance areas on your charts, because in the future, quite often they do get retested and can be important reference points for you to see whether markets tend to hold there or not. So what have we actually seen from a price action perspective with regards to Bitcoin? Well, we saw this very sharp decline on Monday take us into this support area, but then we closed within it. Tuesday, we had further downside take us down to the bottom of this support area. And yes, intraday, we did dip below it, but we didn't close below it. Now, I know Bitcoin is a 24-hour market, but basically you have to have some sort of reference point where it closes for the day. So I'm just using the one here given by TradingView. And basically, so far, we haven't closed below this support area. Now, if that were to happen today, then perhaps we could slide further, because basically what we're then seeing is us not holding, trying for 3 days to hold here, us not holding in this support area. That means we could slip further. And where could we get to? Well, you just look to the left of your chart and you can see here these lows going back to perhaps the 5th or 6th of September, around $110,000. And then more importantly, this reference low here, the 1st of September low, that was made, I believe, around $107,286. That's the main reference point. We could be heading back down there again. Now, the question is, are we currently in a downtrend or not? Well, the uptrend we've had, the short-term uptrend since the beginning of September, has clearly been broken through. As you can see here, we had this tentative trend line. It then became a trend line with more than 3 touches. We fell through there. And as you know, what I like to look at is also a fall through, not just the uptrend line, but you go to the left and you look at the last reaction low. That was made here on the 15th of September. We fell through that on Monday and closed well below it. So that's negative. So for me, this previous down move here from the August highs to the lows seen at the beginning of September, that is still the dominant down move. As you can see here, that's bigger than the corrective move against it that we've seen so far. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another down leg like this, and that might be the beginning of this, taking us down to below the September low. But this is all just speculation. So basically, if you are holding Bitcoin, well, from a longer term perspective, if we look at the chart going back several months, you can see here from the April lows, we're still very much in a sideways trading range. Not much going on, but if we fall through this low here, we may actually fall back towards the 200-day simple moving average and also the low seen here in June of this year. And that was take us back down below $100,000 for Bitcoin. So just be aware of that. That is a distinct possibility if this were to be just a corrective move to the downside of this longer term uptrend here. So right now, technically speaking, to me, the chart looks slightly more bearish than bullish. So as I said, if you're a long-term holder of Bitcoin, And if you don't want to get out at 100,000 or even lower, then perhaps think about looking at this support area and see what we hold, whether we hold here or not. If you are still, for example, short from last week, because you are an investor but a short-term one, and you're going against the trend, well, your stop loss is probably just the last reaction high, so your stop would be above the 18th of September high. That at that point, if we rise back and bounce back from this support and rise above this high, then this bearish view that is seen at the moment is no longer correct. So that's the analysis for Bitcoin, and you can do this sort of analysis on any currencies, any commodities, any equity indices, any market really that you want, oil, whatever. It's just a technical playbook by looking at charts, trying to find the best high probability outcome, and if you want to trade it, the lowest probability risk of getting it wrong. So you're trying to trade in the direction of the trend. And if we look at Ether, the support area that we saw is even more prevalent here, and you can see Ether for the whole of this week has held at the top range of this key support area. So again, how did I come up with this support area? Well, basically what I've done is to take the highs, not just going back to December of 2024, but actually all the way to the March high of 2024. Those highs were the highs seen in June, and then as I just mentioned, the December and December highs and the highs seen here at the end of July of this year. All of these combined with the low at the end of August acted as a support area. And you can see here, these previous highs acted as support here on the 19th and 20th of August. And right now, we are testing that support area as well. So the question is, can we hold here and bounce back? Or are we going to fall through here? So you see, we still have a little bit of leeway because we've got the lower end of that support area coming in around the 28th of July high. So for me, as long as that high holds on a daily chart closing basis, we might still be in a sideways trading range and may have another attempt at the $5,000 mark if we were to hold here. But if we were to fall through that support area and through that high seen at the end of July, the odds, in my opinion, would be greater that we would be heading back down again towards the early August low and perhaps even lower to this long-term uptrend, the April to September uptrend line. And that one currently comes in around $3,100 or so. So that is a possibility if we were to fall. And why do I think that? Because basically we've been trading sideways. We made a higher high compared to the previous high. Then we had a lower high on the relative strength index. That took us down here. We tried again, but again we made a lower high. But that makes sense because we made a lower high on the price chart as well. But the trend since mid-September has been bearish. We've been pointing lower. So if we were to fall through this support area, perhaps we could fall much further. But if we hold here, and right now, because the long-term trend is still pointing higher, that could be a possible scenario. Well, if we bounce back here, then we could be heading back up again, and we would need to take up this accelerated resistance line. Ideally, also the high seen on the 18th of September, around $4,645, for us to then have another attempt at reaching the 5,000 mark. So basically, this is the way I see Ether, very similar to what we've seen on Bitcoin, but the support here is much, much stronger. What I also want to look at is Solana, and you can look at Solana and see that Solana has actually come off quite a bit here. And you can see that we had this nice uptrend here take us to a new high here on the 18th of September, $253 or so. But, and this is why I love technical analysis, and you can do the same. Look at your relative strength index or oscillators such as stochastics or MACD, and see whether they confirm the price action. Because here what we've seen is a higher high on the 18th of September compared to the high seen on the 14th of September. But if you go down to the relative strength index, and as you know, if you watch my show, I always use the 9-period relative strength index, not the 14. But can you see here, this high corresponds to this high, but this high corresponds to this high, and this high is lower than that one. So basically we've had negative divergence at the high, then we had a negative candle, which took us through that support line. That was another signal that perhaps we could be topping out here. And then on Monday, we fell through the last reaction low, the low seen on the 15th of September. So can you see how I build up a chart picture and then the trading signal is whatever you think it is? It could be the trend line break or the fall through the previous relative low. But if you're an investor, that could have been, from a longer term perspective, an area where you could have exited, for example, Solana here and then buy it back at a lower level. So here you can see we've now slid all the way down to this orange line here, the 55-day simple moving average. But from a long-term perspective, can you see here what's happening is we're just testing previous highs here. We're testing a support area. So we may well hold in this support area here made up of all these highs. But if we don't, and if we were to fall through this uptrend line going back to June of this year, and this one comes in currently around $195, well, then you've got what support area to look forward to. But can you see here, let's just do this together. What we can actually do is just connect up the highs and previous lows here. So that would be my next support area here. So what I've done is I connected the early February low with the high seen here 21st of February, then the high seen on the 3rd of March, these highs here the 13th of May, the high seen on the 23rd of May, and then the lows here on the 26th of August. And that gives us this band of support, but that might only be hit if we were to fall through this uptrend line here. So right now we do look toppish. Short term, we may hold around the 22nd of July high, in which case we could see another move higher. But because the descent here has been so sharp on Solana, we would need to see something similar to the upside for us to be bullish again. Now, if we wanted to see upside, what I really want to see here is probably a rise above the 22nd of September high. Why this one? Why not yesterday's? Well, because basically here we had the break of that trend line and that last relative low. It was a big bearish candle. So that's the really important one to take out for us to head higher and make new highs. What I've also been asked to look at is XRP, and you can see XRP if you want to on the website later on today. Will be an article I just published on XRP because open interest in XRP is at January highs on expectations that XRP might get, the ETFs for XRP might get SEC approval. And that might drive prices higher in the near future. That's a fundamental play. But from a technical perspective, what we're seeing with XRP is basically we've been range trading, haven't we, since August of this year. So the whole area around $272 to $270 is acting as really, really strong support. And the area here between $3.10 and $20 is acting as resistance. And then further up, we've got resistance going all the way up to 340 here. Let me actually just add this resistance area I just mentioned here around the 320 mark. So again, what we do, we take previous highs. Can you see these highs here? Connect them up with the lower highs. And can you see here, in this case, I've missed out this high here. So I just redraw that and include that in my resistance area. So this is what gives me these bands, these blue bands of support and resistance. So you can see I've got the highs here from the 29th of July, the 31st of July, then all of these here 15th to 17th of August, 24th of August, and then the high on the 13th of September and the high on the 18th of September. So that's a possible resistance area. But right now we're just ping-ponging between these resistance and support areas. And right now we're bouncing off support. As you can see here on Monday, Solana dropped, Bitcoin dropped, but XRP actually bounced off this support area here, these lows going back to August of this year and also the beginning of September. So short-term Solana's XRP is actually looking more bullish than Solana. What we need to see now from a short-term perspective, if we believe that that's support here has held and we're heading back up again, if you want to invest, get back into into XRP, what we need to see is a break of this accelerated downtrend line, this dotted line here, and then because this is the big move down on Monday, again, as I just showed you on the Solana chart, a rise above the 22nd of September high, the Monday high. Because if we rise above there, and that was made around $2.97 or so, then we've annulled this bearish momentum here, and we should then be heading back up again. So how far could we go? Well, we've got this downtrend line. Now, actually, last week I had it as a dotted line because I didn't have 3 touching points, but now I can make it a solid line because we've got 1, 2, 3 touching points. So this is a valid trend line. If you only get 2 of those, then that is just a resistance line, but this is a downtrend line. So if we were to bounce back up again, that could be resistance, and if it isn't, well, it's the last reaction high, and because that is within this resistance area here, it's also the 13th of September high, which is the most important one. If we were to go through there to the upside, then this resistance area would be the next one. Now, I've got a question from Boston Frank asking me whether Fed Chairman Jerome Powell drove stock prices down yesterday. Well, I guess yes, he did. And he didn't just say that they are overpriced, but he did point at perhaps the current path in the Fed rate cut cycle not being as plain sailing as investors had expected. Also, don't forget what we saw yesterday is quite an extraordinary, basically 1 hour, may I say, ramble. That's my personal opinion. I didn't just say that, but a speech by President Trump at the UN. And at that speech, he said the opposite of what he said about a couple of weeks ago with regards to NATO countries just, should shoot down any straying Russian jets into any NATO territory. And I believe 2 weeks ago, he said something on the lines of perhaps the Estonia, I think it was, or these countries, Lithuania and so forth, well, they shouldn't be as aggressive with regards to Russian incursions of drones and jets into their airspace. So anyway, that the market didn't really like that much, the fact that Donald Trump could just say that, we should just shoot down Russian jets, because that could lead to escalation. And that's why also the Nasdaq yesterday came off by about 0.9%. But don't forget, I mean, we've risen for 3 straight days, hitting record highs on the Nasdaq, on the S&P, on the Dow. So all of that still looks very, very bullish. But let's get back to crypto, because that's what this show is all about. And we can see that basically we are at key support levels. And we need to see what, irrespective of what the fundamentals say or the political or geopolitical background might be, what the charts are actually telling us. And right now, this low we made on Monday, whatever chart you're looking at, or on Bitcoin today's low, those are critical lows, because if we fall through those, we may enter a new equilibrium stage, and that might be slightly lower than where we were, over the last few weeks or so. Now, also what we could look at is, for example, Doge. I know some people are very interested in Doge, and last week I basically chatted to Rich, and he told me that he met people involved with Doge, and they're trying to make it a viable cryptocurrency for younger generations, which works. And so far, as you can see here, it's quite a volatile cryptocurrency at times. But what we've seen here is also a support line here, a fall through there on Monday. So you can see Doge also reacting like other cryptocurrencies, all coming down. But also the reason behind all of this crypto sell-off in the short term could be that last week we saw the dollar index, the US dollar, appreciate for 3 days in a row. So a stronger dollar may lead to cryptocurrencies coming off again, and then also the Fed picture changing perhaps slightly, not being as dovish, could impact cryptocurrencies as well, as we know. So here what we've seen is a sharp decline, and here we're holding around the 55-day simply moving average, this orange line here. But you can see even with Doge, what we are seeing here is also a support line. Now, here, can you see it's a dotted line? We only have 2 touching points, but because this one's quite close to it and this one's also quite close to it, you can take the liberty of saying, well, actually, because it's quite a flat line, I'm going to make it a support line, a proper trend line now. And you can see it comes in slightly lower, around 22 cents or so. As long as we hold above there, this is just a sideways trading range, and we're trying to, hit highs and then we come off again. But Doge, if you look at it, it's been sort of more or less range trading. We've always had these spikes higher, then it comes down again, spikes higher, now we're coming down again. And here again, spike higher, coming down again. And I think right now we're in this downtrend phase, but we need to see again whether we hold at this support area or not. So look at your charts, look what happens next. Again, as I said to you, with regards to Bitcoin, with regards to Solana, XRP or Ether, what we need to see is a rise above Monday's highs for us to reintegrate the previous bullish momentum, because that's the big candle to the downside. That's when support broke, etc. So just look at that. And I've got another meeting, as you can see here, coming up on my screen. So I need to leave you, and thanks again. See you next week.